Around the world, breeding pigs are kept in cages so small that they can't even turn around. Most people are strongly opposed to this kind of confinement. So why is this still happening? It's because modern pig production is shaped by powerful economic and political interests. The way I see it, animal welfare is also about power, and it's about who really controls our food systems. Pigs are highly sentient, they're highly social, and they're highly intelligent. Some of the ways that we keep pigs, there's major problems. So breeding sows are confined throughout their pregnancy in gestation crates, like in the US. Gestation crates are metal enclosures. One of the reasons that animal welfare scientists have been highly critical of gestation crates for decades, because they cause both extreme confinement and so severe suffering, but it's also long duration suffering because in the United States, for example, they tend to be used throughout the pig's whole pregnancy, effectively, throughout the vast majority of their adult breeding lives. This cycle essentially just continues, this cycle of extreme confinement. In 2018, 63% of Californian voters voted to have legislation for minimum space requirements for pigs in California, but also to prohibit the sale of pork produced out of state as well in extreme confinement systems like gestation crates. But the industry fiercely opposed the legislation. Given the severe welfare problems that gestation crates cause, I think most people would probably expect the US veterinary profession to support Proposition 12, but actually they oppose, arguing that Proposition 12 imposes arbitrary housing requirements. But there's a major problem with this approach because we've known for decades, and there's a lot of scientific research, that gestation crates just simply can't provide for the welfare needs of pregnant pigs. The AVMA principles of veterinary medical ethics state that veterinarians must relieve suffering, promote health, and act in the best interests of their patients. So support for gestation crates and support for overturning Proposition 12 seems completely inconsistent. So it raises this question, why would the AVMA oppose? Because the pork industry has considerable economic and political power. Gestation crates were banned in the UK in 1999, but we do use farrowing crates. The difference to a gestation crate is that there's an outer pen, which is for the piglets. The veterinary profession has supported the use of farrowing crates for 4 to 5 weeks, despite the critical period of piglet mortality being just 3 days after birth, or 72 hours after birth. In the UK, 40% of our national breeding herd are kept outdoors, and they have a comparable, or actually sometimes lower, case of piglet mortality. Is piglet mortality a smokescreen? How much is it related to economics? In the UK, the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons declaration states that their constant endeavour must be to ensure the health and welfare of animals. Farrowing crates are not able to meet the welfare needs of breeding pigs. We've known since 2006 that livestock agriculture is a major contributor to global greenhouse gas emissions. Because of this increasing scientific evidence of the negative impacts of high levels of meat consumption, independent scientific bodies are increasingly calling for major reductions in meat consumption. So, for example, the Atlantic Commission has recommended a 50% global reduction in the consumption of red and processed meat. There's no veterinary institution around the world that's actually adopted those science-based targets. In 2020, the World Veterinary Association recognized the global climate emergency. Despite that, in its position paper, it downplayed the contribution of livestock agriculture and was relatively silent on the contribution of meat consumption. The question is whether current food systems are compatible with animal welfare, with public health, and with environmental sustainability, and whether the veterinary profession should be challenging the current systems of food production. The role of the veterinary profession is, to act in the public interest and also protect the animal welfare as well. And if you look at the codes from around the world, as I've done, generally, we're a public interest profession. Where do we have our authority and influence? Our authority and influence comes from our scientific and technical knowledge and expertise, which is important in modern policymaking. That is also related to public trust. And this knowledge can either be used to protect animal welfare and to act in the public good, or it can be used to legitimize farming systems that cause widespread suffering to animals and major harms to the environment and to public health.